Thank you for tuning in to Heart and Soul of Music, where we bring artists to share their stories and their experience. I'm your host, Alejandro Quadra, and today we have Victor Hugo Genete, aka Vic the Kid. For people that don't know you, introduce yourself.
Victor Jinete, Victor Hugo Jinete. And my artist name is Vic the Kid. As you know, some of you guys know, some of them that are tuning in that don't know me. I'm an artist, and I started off as Vic the Kid, and I started off with Los Sucios. So I'm going to tell you a little story first, where I came from. I came from Barranquilla, Colombia, then we moved to Hialeah, Florida, and I was right there in 1965, I came. And then from there, I was just a kid like any other kid. I was playing around in the streets and stuff like that. And then when I reached 13, I started going to open houses, started going to house party. I started getting into the music. My father bought me a pair of drums, and I remember that I was playing the drums. The neighbor told my father, "Hey, tell your kid not to play the drums. I gotta go to sleep." There was all American people. We were the only Spanish people in the block back then. And another Spanish guy that lived across the street from me. And that's when I started the music, man, playing drums every day. My father took the drums, by the way, my father took the drums away from me because the guy complained every day, my father took the drums. So I didn't have nothing to play with. So I started hearing music and going to open houses and dancing and dancing and dancing. Then when I reached 15 years old, I met this girl. We started dancing in different clubs. We started dancing disco. I got the disco real fast because I was born a dancer. I was born with the art.
Okay, disco dancing. I like it. Can you describe how disco and the music genre inspired you?
Well, the disco inspired me because disco was something that came in. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful dance. It was a movement. It was like the jitterbug, but it was called disco. It was called the hustle first, then it became disco. And I remember going to clubs and entering in contests. I danced in Dance Fever, came in second place, didn't make it to the finals. But I danced at Limelight for the second place in the finals on Limelight. And I danced so many places. I danced in the California Club. I remember I won a trophy at the California Club, and I won a trip to the Pocono Mountains. Back then I was like 18 years old, and I was like winning prizes and going places, going to Walt Disney. They will give us prizes, like Walt Disney trips and stuff when you win a contest. So it was fun when it lasted, because then disco stopped, and then something else came in. New wave came in, and after new wave came in, then the freestyle came in back in '94. Then freestyle came in, which it was really dance music. It really started getting into like '86, '87 freestyle. It was more like dance music. But going back to the disco, I won a lot of prizes. Like I said, I made it to Dance Fever. I met Danny Terrio. I met the Bee Gees back then when I did Dance Fever. For the disco dancing, I wanted to be like more than disco dancing. I wanted to be a DJ. I DJed for like 5 years at different clubs, Faces, Mutiny, Village Inn, Suzanne's, because I saw people. It was the bands, and then it became DJs, because there was the open houses with the Heaven, the Antiques, and Opus. Those were the bands back then. Then the DJs came in like Super Sound and Stylistic Sound. All those sounds came in. Those people who wanted to DJ. There was only like 4 DJs at that time back in 1975. I was one of them. I was with a guy called Joe. He started me off with mixing. He taught me how to mix. Then when he taught me how to mix, I got into the music, and I started to mix the disco. And the disco was hard to mix, because it was like out of timing. So you had to really gotta scratch it, how to move it around so you can get the beat. You had to have the beat, or if you didn't have the beat, forget about it. You weren't a DJ. I mean, the DJs of the 1970s were DJs, not the DJs of today.
Okay.
My inspiration is to write funny music. My music is funny. It's different from anybody else. I'm unique, and I sing my way. I don't sing like Julio Iglesias or like anybody else. I sing my way. It's like a shot rap, So my inspiration came from just hearing different kind of groups. Like back then it was the Two Light Crew, the Coochie Crew 2, Expose, Company B, All those people inspired me, back then because that was called freestyle. But my music wasn't really freestyle when I came in, when I started doing my songs. So I got into writing when I was in the 90s. We were just starting. And in my group, there was Freddie, there was Tony, the other Tony, and me, Vic the Kid. At that name, I was called Victor Jinete, as Los Sucios. I was in the 90s, I started getting into writing. And when I started writing, I invented this song called Los Sucia, Que Rica Song.
Sucia.
I went into the Power Wars before we did the song, and the song became #1 on Power 96. And we beat the Two Life Crew on the Power Wars. That was like something amazing because I couldn't believe we beat somebody big. And we were just starting.
Power 96 Power Wars. The champion.
Beating the Two Live Crew, here's Los Sucios with Sucia.
Sucia came out. You said that it was a controversial song.
Yes.
Can you give us a feel on how it was around that time? What people said? And what were the backlashes?
Channel 23 they talked about me back in the 90s, Channel 51. All the radio stations that were Spanish talked about me. Just because they had one word. It was called Sucia con pesta bacalao. I'm Colombian. For me, that word is not bad for me. It was bad for the Spanish people that live here in Miami. And they call me the lowest in the world. I mean, the radio station called me, that people called in. I remember I was in a radio station, and they just bashed me in the radio station, the Spanish radio station, and people say, hey, that kid, oh, he looks like he came from the streets. He doesn't have no education. And I'm an educated guy, man. I come from the streets, but I play in the parks. So I come from the streets, and I'm streetwise. But I'm very respectable. I respect all my girlfriends are my friends. I have a lot of girls that are my friends. I respect them. I don't hate on girls like my friends that are my friends. I don't hate on them. I'm not a hater. I'm not a playboy. Like I go to clubs and pick up girls. I'm just Vic the Kid, man. Everybody likes Vic the Kid because he's humble. He's, some people that are not jealous of me.
Stay humble, my friend. That says a lot about someone's character. So what are some awards or recognitions that have been given to you? Also, who are some artists that you have met or opened up for?
An award in 2008. Joe Grande gave me an award for the Dance Music Award. They wrote articles about us, the Miami Herald. They wrote good about us. The Telenovela wrote good about us, and many other magazines. I opened up for a lot of people back then when I was with Los Sucios.
Tell me more, tell me more.
I opened up for India, Eggman Man, for Endecos, for Power 96. Back then we used to do a lot of promos for Power 96, and I opened up for Rico Suave. When I did another song called Veterans Like It with Los Sucios, and I opened up for so many people, Johnny O. I played with Secret Society, Erotic Exotic. Those are freestyle groups back in the days. And the most that I opened up for was Olga Tayon and Rico Suave. That was the biggest opening up I ever did in my career. Well, I met the Bee Gees. I met Andy Gibb, Barry Gibb. I met Celia Cruz. I met, it goes on. And I did stuff with Fido Waga. I did a song with him, and we recorded. That was another of my people that I met. I recorded with other artists like Mercy Mercy. I produced a song for them, and
That's awesome. I got a sweet question for you. If you could either change or tell yourself, say in your 20s, what would you say or do?
I would have done the same thing that I'm doing now, man. Do my music, my dancing, do all that. Because my music is everything for me. I live for my music.
Thank you for tuning in to Heart and Soul in Music. Till next time, stay creating and don't let setbacks, obstacles, or someone discourage you. These are just stepping stones in your journey, which makes it so much more interesting. If you're an artist and you have a story, we would love to hear from you. you can send me a message at heartandsoulofmusic@gmail.com. Stay humble, stay blessed. You got this. Rock on.